Well, hello there and welcome to another training video. In this nugget, I'll be showing you on how to create a splash vector in CorelDraw. So let's get started. Well, when you talk about a splash screen, it simply means creating a splash effect using Corel. Definitely, splash effects are very cool when they're in vector format because they do not pixelate and they show the exact pixel with the intended color depth. On my screen, I have already imported a graphic. This is a PNG of a splash. And you can tell it is very possible for me to trace along to create this similar splash effect. However, you can tell this is a bitmap. I do not have enough capacity to manipulate and to change a number of things within this image. And so to make it a little bit simpler, rather than tracing this image to create my own vector files of the same look and feel, I'll just select on the image of choice and then I'll navigate into the trace bitmap option on the tool section. I'll click and on the flyout menu, I will select quick trace. So what quick trace does is that it simplifies the tracing for me, and now I have the image and I have the vector file with me. What makes me say this is a vector file and this is an image file? Look at the tools at the top section. For an image, you'll see that I have the image editing tools. But when I select on the vector file, you see that now I can interact with the curve modification tools. Notice that all these curves have been grouped into one single object. So I'll select on that image and select ungroup all the objects. Since I noticed there was a square around this object, I just try to find it, press on delete just to make sure the image is tight on its borders. I'll then select the entire image and just to let you see is on this particular vector file is if I move it around, you see it leaves some of the objects that have been used to make this image complete. So I'll do Control Z on my Windows keyboard and then select the image on its entirety and Control G to group everything all together. I'll then delete the picture so that we can work on this vector file. I also had an image here. This is pattern. I can also decide to do a quick trace of the same so that I keep the vector file. This is the image. I'll click on delete. I'll select this vector file and group everything and then delete the outer border. Select everything else, Control G on your keyboard to group that, and I can bring this somewhere here and maybe I can do a little bit of manipulation just to make sure it looks good. As I will just go back to my pick tool, select that as item and group, and then I can now pick my tool here and just need to zoom a little bit back to my shape tool. So what I'm trying to do is to blend this image or these two images here so they don't appear very foreign. I want them to be very smooth in this case, from the edge section um, to the very last pixel in this image. So we'll just start with there. Also push this one down a little bit. I won't go into the details for this tutorial, but at least you can now tell, I'll just zoom it away, you can tell that it's very easy for you to create a splash effect using CorelDraw, and when they are in vector format, it's very easy for you to manipulate the image. Now, as you can tell, this image looks like a continuous image. However, these are two images that have been converted into vector and manipulate it to create these effects. You can do other cool stuff with CorelDraw if you keep on practicing. Well, if you liked this video, click on the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next nugget.